Hi there, and I am Michael Buckhoff, the founder-owner and the materials writer for your online TOEFL course, the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. And these comments, you just use your first name, Laura, and you sent me an email and you just joined my online course, I think yesterday, so welcome. And you're also telling me a little bit about yourself right now. So you say, I took the TOEFL last December. My total score was 51. So you got 12 points on the reading, 11 points in the listening, 15 points in the speaking, and 13 points on the writing. You say, I need to retake a TOEFL in 2 months. I need to take these scores. You need to get 24 points on the reading, 20 points in the listening, 24 points in the speaking, and 25 points on writing. So that gives you a total score of 93. So basically, you need to get about 40 to 42 points higher on the TOEFL. You need to almost double your TOEFL score. And you say, you want to get an internship in the United States. You say, please help me. It's very important. And I am very glad to help you. Now, first of all, as you may or may not know, I'm pretty honest with my students. So first of all, it's just not reasonable to try to get 40 points higher in 2 months. If you're lucky, if you study really hard, you can probably improve your TOEFL score between 10 and 20 points in 2 months. So you're looking really at getting 61 to 71 as a high score 2 months from now if you study a lot. So how much time are you going to need here? My guess is you're probably looking at anywhere from 6 months to a year. I think before you will reach this particular goal, you have a lot of language use problems that you have to solve, and they will not be solved overnight. All right. Now you may prove me wrong. You may reach your goal faster than that, but my experience tells me you're probably going to need at least 6 months of study to reach your goal. So what do you do right now? Of course, everything you're doing right now centers around English. That means you want to write English, speak English, read English, listen to English. Everything all day long. This is very important. So I'm going to give you some suggestions of some things that you can do in order to improve your academic English language proficiency. First of all, maintain a regular habit of reading every day for 45 minutes. This is very important. You can read magazines, newspapers, and longer books. Make sure that you have an interest in the materials so you'll stay more motivated to read those things. The second thing is also practice your listening every day for 45 minutes. If you have English TV, focus on news, documentary, history, and especially science programs. That's going to be very, very helpful for your academic English language proficiency. Now, if you don't have English TV, I have 3 websites that I think will be useful for you. National Public Radio is the first one. You can go to Google, type in the keywords. Great website for listening. The next one is called TED Talks. And the third one is Randall's Cyber Listening Lab. So these 3 websites will be very helpful, I think. All right. Now the next thing is, as you're doing your reading and listening practice, focus on note-taking. In the beginning, Laura, your note-taking will not be complete, it will not be accurate, it will not reflect accurately what you have read and what you've listened to. But as you practice, a strange thing happens. You get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better over time. but you should start practicing your notes on the reading and the listening passages that you're practicing. You can focus on the main point and the most important supporting points of the reading and listening passages. Now here's step number 4. The fourth suggestion I have for you is begin right now, today, begin writing 3 250-word summaries each week. This is important. Your writing score is very low. You have to get more used to writing about other people's ideas. That's going to help prepare you for the integrated writing section of the exam. All right? So that's my recommendation here is so you're writing approximately 750 words each week. Now, what I'm telling you here is hard work and it takes time. I understand that. But if you do these specific things, you will start seeing improvements with your English abilities and ultimately your TOEFL score. And guess what? You do not have to attend an intensive English program in order to improve. A lot of students, maybe you even, you might have attended an English language program, and as you know, they're quite expensive. They cost you thousands of dollars even for just one quarter or one semester, and everything I'm telling you right now is free. If you're independent and you're a self-starter, you don't mind working on your own, you can definitely improve your academic English language abilities. Now, number 5, you should practice also with your speaking, so practice giving maybe 3 60-second oral summaries. This is also going to be very helpful for you. Okay, so these are my first 5 suggestions, and approximately here I'm going to suggest my TOEFL study here in just a minute, but let's be very clear on what we're talking about before we move on to my TOEFL course. The most important thing for you right now, it's not just studying the TOEFL exam and taking TOEFL practice tests. That's the least important thing for you right now. The most important thing for you is to build your academic English language proficiency. So right now you should be spending 60% of your time I think completing here steps 1 through 5. Now then, 40% of your time should be spent using my online TOEFL course as I'm outlining right now. Okay, so I don't know if you know, but at my website I have different study guides that I think are important to help students reach their TOEFL goals. I have 30, 60, and 90-day TOEFL study guides. In my opinion, you're a little bit too far from your goal right now, so I don't think even a 90-day TOEFL study guide is the most appropriate study guide for you. But I got good news for you. My online TOEFL course, Laura, it actually has about 6 months of instruction, and that's probably about the same amount of time you're going to need to reach your goals. So the 6th suggestion I have right now is to start completing the lessons in my online TOEFL course, right? So let's put this here. Now the first thing is I want you to go through the vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar lessons first. You want to do this first. This will probably take you 2 to 3 months. Now you may finish faster than that, just depends on how long it takes you to learn the information in these lessons, and especially vocabulary is going to be very, very important for you. Now, step 7 is to complete the listening and reading lessons in my course. You can probably do this in about 2 months. My best guess. Then number 8, you can complete the writing and speaking lessons. Again, here you're probably looking at about 2 months. So if you spend 2 months here, 2 months here, 2 months here, this is going to give you 6 months total. Now, this is just a suggestion. I'm just simply giving you a suggestion. Because you're one of my students now, you have complete access to all my lessons in my course. You can pretty much do anything you want. I'm just giving you a more specific study plan based on the information that you gave me. If you don't want to listen to that, that's fine. You can do whatever you want. All right, so the next thing is, maybe if you get a little bit restless and you need to check or monitor your progress, you can certainly take a full-length IBT practice test. And this will help give you some feedback so you can kind of see where you are. Now, this does cost extra money because I contract out with another company who has these practice tests. They look exactly like the TOEFL exam. He spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars designing these practice tests, and he sells them to the general public for a very low price to help prepare students for the TOEFL exam. So what you want to do is you're using my online course to build your academic English language abilities, and then maybe every 2 or 3 months you can take a full-length IBT practice test to measure your progress. Also, it helps you get more familiar with the structure and the format of the TOEFL exam. That's a good thing. And it also actually helps you develop the stamina and the strength that you need to take a full-length 5-hour IBT practice test. A lot of students, they find themselves having difficulty concentrating during this entire test. All right, so what are you doing right now? Here are my recommendations. So let's say each day you set aside 4 hours to do your TOEFL study. My recommendation is 60% of these 4 hours should be spent doing steps 1 through 5. And then 40% of the 4 hours should be spent going through steps 6 through 9. You see what I'm saying? This kind of shows you how you can balance your time right now. Let's put this over here. And maybe you might want to watch this video maybe once a week or every other week just to remind yourself exactly what you're trying to do. So if you spend, here's my best guess right now, if you spend about 4 hours every day following these 9 specific steps, I think probably in about 6 months you should be pretty close to reaching your goal. Now, what can you expect in 2 months? Hopefully within 2 months your score is between 61 and 71. If that's where it is, then you're exactly making the progress you should be making. If you're a little bit lower than that, then you want to make sure that you're studying a little bit harder, more consistently, and you're following exactly the steps as I outlined in this video. All right, there you go. So anyway, thank you very much for your comments. I got a good feeling. I think that you will be able to reach your goal. I apologize for not giving you a study plan within 2 months because simply based on your TOEFL score, that's just not realistic. There really isn't a 2-month study plan based on your specific score and the goal that you want to achieve. All right, anyway, thank you very much, Laura, and all the best to your high-scoring TOEFL success.